What's up, guys? All right, so okay, you're trying to quit, and you say, "Should I replace weed with CBD?" Okay, so and I really can't say yes or no for you personally, but I'll share my personal story with that. And okay, so when I first started my journey of trying to quit weed, it was during the rise. Okay, Charles. It was during the rise of CBD. Okay, so I'm sure if you're watching this, you know what CBD is. It's basically weed without the THC, or a very low amount of THC. So I said, okay, I should try to replace it with a more natural, not as potent, taking away the actual high properties that I get with weed. So, and it was quite convenient. They had a lot of sites that were popping up that you could just buy CBD, or what they call at the time hemp flower, that looked just like weed, smelled just like weed, but it didn't get you high. So maybe I'm not qualified to truly speak on this because I didn't try a whole lot of varieties. I tried a couple and I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. I'm gonna tell you, it actually gave me, again, it looked like weed, it smelled like weed, it sort of tastes like weed, didn't have the same kick, but it gave me a headache when I smoked it. And I looked up, was it like a common side effect of CBD? And I couldn't get a straightforward answer. Some said yes, possible. Most people said you can actually, you're more likely to get like a vomiting side effect. I never got vomiting, but I did get a headache. And of course, I didn't get really high. Or I didn't get high at all. So I quickly realized that wasn't going to work for me. And it didn't work for me because, first of all, I was trying to, hold on, guys. Okay, CBD wasn't for me because I'm not a fan. If you're trying to quit any type of vice, weed specifically, it's not a good idea to try to replace it with another vice. Now, I do agree you can replace it with something healthy like a new diet or exercise or a new hobby or a new business venture. But to replace weed with alcohol, to replace weed with cigarettes, to replace weed with anything else wouldn't be a good idea. To just replace one addiction for another addiction. Now, you might say CBD, okay, it's a more healthy alternative than weed himself. I don't think so. First of all, I quickly, and I didn't replace it with CBD oil. Before I actually tried to replace it, tried to vape weed himself. I'm not a fan of oil, but I did try to vape the weed buds. I didn't care for vaping. I'm a fan of, I like to actually smoke. And I guess maybe I had a tobacco addiction as well. I prefer to smoke cigars than actually vape. So vaping didn't really help me kick my habit. I just quickly went back to smoking cigars. But also with the CBD, I didn't want to do CBD oil. I wanted to smoke it. And if I'm going to roll a cigar and roll some bud, I need to get high. That's stupid to smoke something without getting high. It's just like I don't see the point in non-alcoholic beers. If I want a beer, I want a beer. If I'm not gonna, I think non-alcoholic beers are stupid. But okay, if I'm gonna smoke weed, I'm gonna smoke weed, not weed with no effects. And I think also if you are a person who has smoked weed and you're trying to go back to CBD, I don't think it's going to help you because the effects are not going to be potent. You know, smoking weed for a long period of time, you're used to the most potent effects. You are used to the THC. You are used to the effects at its highest level, whereas CBD is a much lower dose. So if you're a person that has never smoked, has never really smoke weed like that, CBD may actually work for you, but somebody who's been smoking for a long period of time, that's just not, just trying to drink. You've been drinking straight vodka for 10 years and you're trying to pater down and drink a Smirnoff Ice. You're going to say, just screw this. Give me the vodka. So it's best to probably just quit altogether. I found that trying to replace weed with something so similar just really was just a stumbling block to just make me go back to smoking weed. I think if you want to quit marijuana, you have to quit altogether. You can't come up with a similar alternative that may make you quit that. I've heard that sometimes people that try to quit cigarettes, they'll try to buy a different brand they don't smoke to make them actually not care for cigarettes themselves. And I've heard in a lot of cases, they just develop appetite for that different brand. So I think it's the same with weed. And like I said, myself, I'm not going to say I develop a appetite for CBD. I just said, screw it. I'm just going to go back to smoking weed itself. And also, like I said, I got headaches when I did CBD. Now, I know it's probably not the same for all people. But for me, I found it to be more damaging than good. Like I said, I still was in the habit of smoking, so that I didn't kick the actual habit of doing what I was doing. I wasn't getting high, so I'm smoking without the benefits. It's actually giving me a headache, so what's the point of me actually trading this out for CBD? Again, we also want to not trade a vice for a vice. If you want to kick a vice, it's best to just quit altogether, not try to hang on to something similar that's just going to make you hang on to the former vice itself, and you have a higher chance of going back to the very thing that you're trying to quit. Now, I did quit weed altogether before, or during the time they came out with the whole Delta 8 thing, the whole CBD with a higher percentage of THC, which I have heard is quite similar to weed itself. And I would say, that was tempting as well, because I was like, okay, maybe I can just use a Delta 8. But again, if I'm going to smoke, then I'm going to smoke real weed. Also, I wasn't positive. I wasn't sure about the safety of Delta 8 since it was new, since it was created in the lab. I do think a lot of these new strains of weed, of CBD, Delta 8, whatever, that's created for a more commercial use, are linked more to health issues, linked more to things from seizures to vomiting to, again, headaches to nausea, in especially like teens and young adults. And something like, they say CBD, like I said, is a common symptom that some people do get nausea. That's actually kind of crazy, because usually people who are ill, they smoke weed to get over their nausea. So something that could give you nausea. And I said I'll just quit altogether. So if you're thinking about trading CBD for weed, if you have tried it, what has been your experience? Have you find it useless, that you're just, using the same thing with lower effects? Or could you be a person that's actually helping you get rid of the habit? Are you smoking or vaping less since you're using CBD, which you don't get the same effects? Has it been more of a tool that help you quit altogether? Although I did, go back to smoking weed in that process, I could possibly say it was a tool that still helped me quit altogether. Although I didn't quit immediately after that, it was a step in my journey that still led me down this path of complete sobriety from marijuana. So guys, I would like to hear your experiences. I would like to hear your thoughts about it. Would you trade weed for CBD? If you have, has it worked for you? Has it not? Until next time, guys, like, subscribe, share. Most importantly, comment below. I would like to hear what you got to say. And remember, we are all in this together.